All right, I'm Luke from Gearforce USA. We're at Triumph's warehouse today, looking at the NSS-11, the 11,000-pound four-post lift. Now, we made this lift primarily for people who are gonna have a large truck, but they also have the other classic cars or daily drivers, and they want one lift that's gonna be able to do everything. This is the biggest lift you can get that's still fully portable. This is where we max out on the portability from our line of lifts. A few measurements. You almost have 10 feet between the columns here. So you have 118 and some change inches. So you can keep your mirrors out in your truck. You're not gonna worry about hitting that. You don't have to line it up perfectly. You have plenty of distance between the posts here for on top and under the lift. And you're gonna have enough drive-through between here and this other piece over here to get your large dually trucks on. This is the widest lift you can get that's still gonna have that full portability, which we'll show later. Now on length, you're gonna be looking at 196 inches, okay? So those full-size 8-foot bed crew cab trucks, they're still gonna take up the majority of this runway. You're gonna be at usually 175 to 182 from front center tire to back center tire on your full-size trucks, and you have 196 inches to work with. So from the front tire to back tire, it's still gonna be taking up the majority of the runway, but you have so much distance between the posts, you can still easily access the wheels if you need to take those off. So we're gonna go over the light accessories that come with it. So you get aluminum approach ramps, just like all the Triumph four-post lifts up to the 11K. You're gonna get aluminum approach ramps. These are gonna be a lot lighter than the steel approach ramps a lot of other lifts come with, so you can take those off very easily. This is the optional 5,000-pound rolling jack. There's another video you can watch that's specifically on the 5K rolling jack here, air operated. Your other light accessories, you're gonna get 3 drip pans. Make sure nothing's falling down to that bottom vehicle if you're storing anything under there. And then you also get your sliding jack. You can put your bottle jacks in here. Any other jacks that you have can fit in this. It's very big, so you can get a few in here. If you wanna jack up one of the sides of your vehicles, that is all included outside of the rolling jack. Everything else is included, and then we have our casters to go along. So one more time, you get the drip pans, jack tray, caster kit, and aluminum approach ramps come with all of the Triumph parking lifts. All right guys, so we're looking at the 5,000-pound rolling jack. This is gonna work on the NSS-11, 11,000-pound four-post we're looking at, and the NOS-10, 10,000-pound four-post that we're looking at. Okay, so you can see this is the maximum height that it's gonna get up to. We have some different adapters that are gonna work with it for your low clearance vehicles. We have these are just the rubber pads that are gonna stick right on top, so if you don't have enough height clearance on these, once it's lowered, which we'll show in a second. See, we have the double screws on here so you can adjust the height that's gonna be on the end. Those just slide in, you can screw them down, screw them up to the height point that you need. And then if you have your trucks, you can get some extra height on here. This is gonna go right inside. And then you have your adjustment here so you can get to your higher vehicles that are gonna be on this jack. And then if you have the vehicle on here, as you bring it down, you have your release point here. Comes down. So this rolls. This is your big difference between the 8,000-pound models and the 10 and 11,000-pound models. These ones are going to have the wheels on the jacks, okay? And this is also air operated. One thing to remember on the extra width on this lift, we're able to give it 2 pre-drilled width adjustments. So the power side runway over here, that's gonna be set in place. It's gonna have the cylinder, the cables, all running under that platform. Under this platform, it's essentially just a piece of steel that's gonna be bolted down here on each crossbeam that's connecting these 2 posts. So you can see we have it on the wider setting right now. So if you're putting your trucks on here, even a dually, you have plenty of drive-through. You can let that secondary wheel on a dually hang off a little bit. If you want to move it inside a few inches to get your smaller sports cars on, you can. Most of the time this width is still fine for newer Corvettes, Camaros, things of that size, but you do have the ability to move this runway in, even for smaller cars, like golf carts or tractors. We'll see a lot of people move this in, put their new pre-drilled holes themselves, and reattach with the bolts here to anchor it down. Okay, so we have this up to the top lock height on the Triumph NSS-11. So you have plenty of height under here for larger trucks. If you have a boat trailer, side-by-sides, any taller vehicles, you have plenty of space on the height, but you can see the really great thing about this lift is the amount of distance you're gonna have between these posts. They have a lot of room to get through here. So you can see on this runway, this is the adjustable width runway. There's nothing under here, so we can move this in and out. And then you'll see on this side, this runway is gonna stay in place since you have the cables, cylinder running under this platform connected to the power unit. So people always ask me, what is this thing sticking out of the lift here? Well, this lift is so tall that some of our shorter friends aren't able to get to this lock release up here. Okay, so this is your manual lock release that's gonna unrelease all of the locks on each four posts. Okay, so just to demonstrate, come up here, make it a lot easier. We're gonna have the lift go up a little bit. We're gonna pull the lock release in, and now the lift can come down. So the Triumph NSS-11, 11,000 pound 4-post lift, this is the biggest lift you can get that's still gonna have the full portability, okay? So as we bring this down, we're gonna see it go onto the casters. Then you're gonna see our posts are gonna move up just a little bit off the ground. Goes.